Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Monday, February 21st, 2022. It's almost here. 2/2/2/2/2. That's tomorrow. Today's 2/1. Sorry. Gotta wait one more day. Yeah, I just don't want to forget it because it's coming tomorrow. So, there, well, today we're getting ready for a storm, which technically at 6 p.m. now is here. And for the next 24 hours, we are going to be hit with a little bit of everything, but we're kind of on that icy, rainy mix side. So we're going to focus on that today. We'll talk about that in the headlines and keeping you safe on that. Plus, we're going to check in with the snow removal experts. Yes, Mark Hoda will be here from our Streets Division, Public Works. And he'll tell us his approach on this type of storm, and we'll just talk in general about the snow and ice removal coming up. Plus, we check in with Tiffany Schultz, Better Business Bureau. We're talking about buying and selling jewelry safely. That's right, 'tis the season. We'll break that down for you coming up. Well, let's jump into the weather. And anytime we talk about the weather, remind you to check the weather frequently. And here's what our friends from the National Weather Service, Milwaukee Sullivan, are saying. Again, things might have changed a little bit, so keep that in mind as you're going through this. But winter weather advisory is in effect this evening into Tuesday for all southern Wisconsin. A wintry mix of light, freezing rain and sleet is expected to start this evening. Will continue through Tuesday. Expect travel impacts tonight through Tuesday, and it's look for increasing chances of rain and freezing rain, sleet later. Basically now through Tuesday. That's kind of what we're really talking about here: rain, freezing rain, and sleet. The winter weather advisory in effect for all of our area, and it's because of that freezing rain is expected over much of the area. And as cool temperatures arrive, that transition is what's causing all of the issues to, why we're here. And you see the sleet and freezing rain stuff tonight, and then tomorrow you see kind of where that transition had. And that's the big question, is where is this going to set in? But we're still going to see a messy day tomorrow at the very least. So make sure you plan ahead and be safe out there as you do head out. We've got some ice storm safety tips for you. First and foremost, keep your car off the road. Freezing rain can make roads slippery in seconds. If you can, wait to drive until the roads have been salted or sanded. And to stick to major routes, remember that it takes longer to stop on snow and ice, so stay well behind the car in front of you. You must, if you must go outside, beware of the icy sheets and ice-covered branches, wires, or wires that is, which could break and fall under the weight. See down hanging power lines? Let the power company or local police know. Assume the lines are still live and keep away from them. If you drive onto a downed line, stay in your car, slowly maneuver your vehicle off the line, or call police or call 911 to make sure. I would say just call 911 and don't move anything. I'm going to just ask Andrew that. It's probably a good thing just to wait in your car. He's on fire, so he can always correct me if I'm wrong or tell me a better way. Do not try to move the lines. Never, ever. Assume they're always live. So important here. Dress for the weather, too, with boots and shoes with rubber soles, which will give you the best traction. They also make traction things that you can put onto your shoes and boots, so you may want to consider that. Use handrails near stairways whenever possible on public transportation or when going in and out of a building, and those might be slippery too, so be careful. I mentioned that I have fallen in the past on ice and sprained my ankle, and everything was icy and just whoop. It happens just like that. Yeah. Stay tuned to your local radio and TV stations to listen for advisories and check the weather frequently. Make sure your home and car emergency kits are complete with supplies you need to sustain 72 hours in case the worst thing happens. We never know, right? We prepare for the worst, hope for the best. How about that car emergency prepare kit? If you need some ideas for that. Oh, yeah. Andrew's reminding me, too. You want to make sure you check those. Watch out for ice dams and stuff too. Those do form, and we've had some snow, so some people may have been faced with some of that already. So if you haven't already checked out it, make sure if you think you got some issues, water getting inside the home from freezing rain that sneaks underneath the between the gutter and the shingles and gets in your house, you can check in on that with using a contractor, because I don't know if there's any other And finally, make sure you prepare your car for emergencies. That includes, but not limited to, flashlights, batteries, jumper cables, warm clothes, boots, and blankets, phone charger, and an ice scraper. You need an ice scraper for sure. Water, food, have it all ready, especially if you're planning on traveling. Although I would make alternate plans if you do have to be on the roads tomorrow. All right, other news for you. Let's talk about the ARPA and TID closure investment plan. This plan has been put out by the mayor, and now we have the council's proposed amendments to the plan, 24 of them listed here on the screen. You can check out those amendments online now at our website, fitchburgwi.gov. Read on the whole plan and what's this all about. If you're kind of curious, we've had some introductory meetings on this, and on this Wednesday, the process will move forward with a presentation at COW, that's Committee of the Whole, to discuss the council's amendments. That's happening this Wednesday night. It'll be live on our Gov channel F3. And then we move on to a public hearing on the amendments and then discussion and adoption of the spending plan. That's both happening on March 22nd. On-street parking public survey is out there for you to take, and says here on January 31st, Fitchburg staff held a public meeting on street parking issues and potential solutions. We'd like to hear from you and how to use the street parking and how we can improve it. If you're interested, we'd love to hear from you. Please fill out the survey by March 11th. The survey is not too long, pretty easy to fill out, and we want to get your feedback so we can add it into further discussion and plans. Turning our attention to COVID, do you have concerns about a possible exposure to COVID or one of these questions? Well, did you test positive for COVID? What do you do next? What if you had an exposure? What if you need to get tested? What if? Okay, I'm getting excited, but it's all there right on the screen. You can go to any of those websites, which are all the same. It's just the backslash is different, right? Public health, mdc.com. Start there. And if you're sick, type in sick. If you're exposed, type in exposed. Testing, you get it. Vaccinations, all of the information at your fingertips. And that's what is going on with public health. So if you have any concerns on what's going on, it's where you start. All right, turning our attention to a yoga instructor. After all this news that we've gone through today, we need to relax. And this class might be the one for you, right? So here it says, meet our yoga for all levels instructor. It's Allie. Allie is passionate about showcasing how brilliant our bodies can be and harnessing that positive power of our minds. She has been practicing yoga for 10 years plus and has been teaching yogas for over 3 years as well in the Madison area. So you can join her for her next session of yoga for all levels starting on March 1st. For more information or to register, go to our website, fitchburgwi.gov, and click on Rex, Parks and Recs. Yes, and then you can fill out the information and get registered. Finally, turning to a recall alert. In recent days, you may have heard of this. It's a recall alert on baby formula. FDA putting this out. It says, did you recently buy or receive baby formula? There's a recall affecting select types of powdered formula. Again, this is select types of powdered formula that you should be aware of. It's due to a possible bacteria contamination. There's a full list online. We have that list for you and a link. When Andrew goes to post up these headlines for the day, they will be there and available at your fingertips. And we post this up on our Facebook when we post up the headlines each day. So you'll have that. And if you do have baby and are doing the formula, we had to do some of the powdered formula. And yeah, eventually you transition to it potentially. So either way, check it out. Make sure that it's not on the list, the one you're using. All right, that does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we're going to talk about snow and ice removal ahead of the storm. It's, I guess, not really ahead now. It's here. But we want you to stay safe as you head out there. Plus, Better Business Bureau. We're going to be talking about tips for buying and selling jewelry. That's all coming up on Talking Fitchburg.
It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. Use a delivery service for essential items like food and medicine. If you must make essential trips, stay 6 feet apart from other people. wear a cloth face covering, and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready!
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from our Streets Division, Public Works, the man, the mystery. I don't use that very often. Okay, I do. Mark Hodel. Mark, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, Jeremy.
We've been you've been listening to me ask you a bunch of questions as I nerd out about snow plowing and everything else in between. So I appreciate you hanging in there so we can get to the interview. But we're gonna get to some stuff today. We're gonna be talking about the ice snowstorm, whatever it's gonna happen coming in. We'll talk a little bit about snow and ice removal just in Fitchburg and some safety tips as well, as it is still the middle, I would say the middle, or hopefully we've passed the middle of winter here. But first and foremost, Mark, we've got a big ice or potential for ice storm coming in. As you look ahead to these types of weather events, how do you approach something like tonight? It's got to be difficult.
It does. It's like I told somebody else, it's kind of like shooting at a moving target, things are constantly changing. We have our trucks loaded, they're ready to go. We're monitoring different, websites and radar and trying to figure out the best time to go out and salt it and keep the ice from building up.
And given the recent days, we've had some warmer weather. Has the road temperatures been warmer? So is that going to help, keep our roads a little bit less from getting icy right away? I mean, how do you see that playing out?
It could, there's still frost under the roads. So, they warm up, kind of move with the air temperature. If it's sunny, they're obviously warm, but they cool off fast when the sun goes away and the air temperature drops.
So number one priority is obviously keeping the main roads and stuff open and safe. I mean, any road we want to keep open and safe,
Yeah.
but we're really trying to keep it open, especially if emergency vehicles got to get in and out. And certainly we want anybody to be safe. There's no one priority per se, but your goal as you make it through this, so it's going to continue, it's 24 hours. So how does that look or play out? Are we going to have our drivers like at different times of shifts? Is it keep some main roads? How do you look at that?
No, we just, we'll try to determine a good time to come in tonight if everything works the way they say it's going to work, and try to find that sweet spot, when if it would rain and before it starts freezing rain, before the road temperatures drop below freezing, then we'll want to get salt on and we'll have everybody in. We don't have two shifts. We only have one crew that does the salting. So you got to kind of balance that out too. And just the way I see it, we would come in and do that initial salting and evaluate what things look like, possibly quit, and then come back if possible early in the morning and reapply, and then work from there throughout the day.
If we were to get ice buildup in some areas, do we have equipment that can cut through that, or is the main thing here, unfortunately, is the salt, because that's the best tool we have against this type of storm?
It is. We use salt and brine with some beet juice mixed in with the brine, which makes it a little more effective for colder temperatures. But it it all depends how much it rains and how much it comes down.
Well, I wish you had your 8-ball with you today so you could have tell us exactly how this was going to play out. But I think that's the point of this interview, is where it's hard. It's hard to navigate through these. And we know you'll be out there and being safe. As far as snow and ice removal goes in the city of Fitchburg, for people who aren't familiar with it, we've got a pretty robust system in place, Mark. We've got some good equipment. Tell us as numbers go, how many vehicles do we have? We got plenty of salt. We got the things we need to attack these situations.
We do. We have 11 patrol trucks we go out with on a normal snowfall. They all go out. They all have main roads and secondary roads on their routes. Our main roads are hit right away as soon as we go out. And so, within the first hour, all the main roads, Fish Hatchery, McKee type roads should be taken care of, and they slowly work their way through the neighborhoods after that.
It's a process. It's a process indeed. And then the salt and the brine and stuff, because of the way the winter has gone this year so far, are we up on the numbers? Are you sitting right where you thought you were going to be? How is that looking?
We'd probably have a little more on hand than we normally would this time of the year. But these rain events and icing events take, as much or more than snow, and some of these colder, it was colder temperatures that we had as well. And that takes material to get it off the roads.
We were kind of talking a little bit about this. We're seeing more of a trend, I think, over the time, and you confirmed this with me talking a little bit, but it's changed. We're seeing more warmer temperatures or warmer, milder winters. Sometimes we see the really big impacts of snow. Is that helping or breaking our system as far as planning for salt, keeping those trucks updated, the plows go and everything? How has that played into your planning process?
Oh, we try to be prepared for anything, but it does seem to be harder to predict what's going to happen. It seems like we plan for one thing and we get dealt another. So,
you have some complaints with the meteorologists. I can hear it in your voice, but
they do their best too.
No. Well, don't worry. We'll get them on the show and we'll let them have it for you. Finally, safety a priority for you guys. Any reminders for drivers if they see snowplows out and about?
Yep. Stay back. Don't pull up on a snowplow. They frequently back up. They don't stop on a dime. And so just give them plenty of room. They're trying to do their best.
Yeah, I have to say, I rode along with you a couple of years ago. I don't know how you've got good mirrors in there. They're big, and you sit up high, but it's still hard to see everything. Well, especially because I was in your way, but it's hard to see everything necessarily. So giving you plenty of room gives you better safety for you and the driver for everybody out there.
Yeah, slow down. That's a big thing. If everybody would slow down, it would probably just make it a smoother operation.
Absolutely. All right, Mark, always a pleasure. Stay safe out there, and we'll look forward to talking to you. We might have to catch up with you tomorrow, depending on how the storm looks, so we'll be ready for that. But thank you for your time.
Take care.
You bet. Mark Hodel from Public Works, and we'll continue to put updates out throughout the storm on what's going on out there to keep you safe. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today for the Better Business Bureau, our expert, our friend, Tiffany Schultz. Tiffany, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for being back. And today we're talking a new topic, and it's tips for buying and selling jewelry. It is the time of season, and there's a lot more people who are selling things because there's so many platforms now that makes it easy for selling. And jewelry, I would say, has got to be a little tricky. I have never sold jewelry before, so it's kind of interesting. But what does BBB want you to know about this?
Well, when you're buying jewelry for someone special, you always want to do your research. We get a lot of complaints coming into BBB about jewelry stores, and a lot of those complaints allege problems returning the item and refund policies. So before you go do your research, head on over to bbb.org, look for a trustworthy jeweler, and also ask friends and family. Read customer reviews, read customer complaints. What are other customers sharing about their experiences at these jewelry stores? So know before you go is so important when you're out shopping for jewelry, because it is a bigger investment.
Certainly is. And I think back to when I got my wife's engagement ring a while ago. So things I'm sure have changed, but having a budget in mind before you head out to do this thing, because the sky is literally the limit when you go and look at jewelry.
Know exactly what you're planning on spending. Go with a budget in mind, maybe even go with some ideas before you head on over to the store, and let the salesperson know exactly what you have to spend. Because if you don't know what you're going to spend, you may be so they might show you other pieces that are above and beyond your budget, what you want to spend. So if you make it clear that you want to stay within your budget, you're going to have a much better experience at the store than maybe saying yes to a piece that you really can't afford.
Yeah, it's a very, very true statement. And you definitely, it just makes it easier if you know how much to work with, and because you can negotiate sometimes at some of these places. So important. And then it gets down to the fine print and what questions should we be asking to make sure we're getting what we paid for and not any hidden stuff.
Read the fine print. It's so important that you read and you understand that fine print, the terms and conditions, especially if you're financing the piece. But you want to ask about warranties. You want to ask about return policies. If there's a lifetime guarantee, ask what that lifetime guarantee means, because lifetime usually correlates with a number of years, whether it be 5 years, 10 years, usually not 40 or 50 years. You want all of those answers to those questions before you go ahead and purchase.
Yeah, because I feel like you lose your wedding ring. Like, are you really going to get it fully replay it? There's just too many things there that stand out, but definitely big. Keeping the receipt. I can't think of, there's a lot of receipts I haven't kept in my life. There's two of them, one for buying a car, I guess the home and the mortgage, but the receipt of jewelry, I think is a must.
Keep the original receipt and any kind of documentation that goes along with the piece that you're purchasing. If you're purchasing diamonds, there's usually a certificate that comes along with the diamond. If you're purchasing a piece that has an appraisal, you're going to want to keep that as well. And tuck that away somewhere safe. You never know where you're going to need it. And it also comes in handy when you're looking at selling the piece, if you're looking at selling the piece down the road.
And that's where we're going to next, is selling jewelry. And same, almost, you could take the same things we just talked about and reverse that. You gotta do your research before you head out and start doing this.
You do want to do your research. You want to shop around. You want to make sure that you trust the company that you're selling it to, especially if you're selling it to a pawnbroker. It's very easy to sell it to a company, but you do want to do your homework. Can you trust this person? What are other consumers saying about their experience with that person, with that company? So really do your homework to make sure that you're picking the right person, the right company that you feel comfortable working with. If you're selling on your own, that's going to create additional risk, but there could be some reward at the end too.
And talk about this mailing in. So if you have to mail it out or something like in that exchange, like that, this is where I would be uncomfortable. Like if you're doing an online sale or something, you got to be careful.
There's mail-in jewelry services, and you really need to know who you're going to trust if you're going to trust them with a piece that you're selling, especially if it's thousands of dollars. So again, go back to doing your research, read what consumers are saying on different platforms, go to bbb.org, do an internet search, read those customer complaints, read those customer reviews, read the fine print. How long will it take to get your piece back? If you're looking at getting an appraisal on it, how long do you have to make a decision on if you're going to accept their offer, if you're going to reject their offer? But when it really comes down to it, if you're shipping off your piece, you want to make sure that you trust this company that you're sending it to.
All right. Well, this is all great information. 'Tis the season, as we say, with Valentine's Day happening soon enough, and just any time of the year. These are all great tips. If people want to learn more on buying or selling jewelry, I almost said celery. It could be the term for that. Where can we find more information?
Head on over to bbb.org. We'll have this article up both before and after Valentine's Day. So if you're looking at popping the question after Valentine's Day, you can still find all of this information and more.
Oh boy, you just opened up a can of worms. Just kidding. All right, I appreciate the help. Stay safe out there. We'll catch up with you real soon, Tiffany.
Thanks for having me today.
You bet. Take a quick break. More to come. You are watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be flood next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for today, I want to thank Mark Hodel from our Parks, Streets, and is it? I always want to say streets, just the streets. Fine. He's Public Works. They're like a little bit of everything. Either way, Mark Hodel. It's a good thing the show's live. And we also want to thank Tiffany Schultz from Better Business Bureau as well, helping us out. And my staff are just going to let me have it for that. As we wrap up here, remember you can stay connected with Fact TV. It's so much fun, let me tell you. Facebook and YouTube. If you haven't checked us out, that's where we're going to keep you up on the latest on everything Fitchburg, including that weather. Stay safe out there. Please take extra time as you head out.